Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button there in order to get these weekly content. Follow me on Instagram, Jeni G Cousins. If you do want to book a private clairvoyant reading, soulworkwithjeni.com. So let's start off this week's energy report. So what is going to be coming up every day? What can you guys expect? What days to utilize things? What days to be careful, because this is when a new chapter is opening up for you, which can bring unexpected, shocking outcomes. That's right. Unexpected, shocking outcomes. So we're going to talk about the energy from the 8th to the 14th of November. Like, really take a look at where you guys are at right now. Reflect back from 2017 to 2024. What's happened? Like, of course, there's been a lot of major situations that has happened, a lot of endings, because that gives you, like, what, 7 years? So we go in different cycles with situations. So whenever I read you guys, let's say one-on-one reading, I look into your level of consciousness to see what cycle you're in, where things are at, and so on, with a very detailed reading. So this is when, like, seriously, I've been talking about this for a while. Really pay attention to what needs to end, what needs to get resolved during this time, especially as we're almost at the end of the year. You don't want to be bringing in unhealed situations that are not even looked at, that are pushed under the rug, that are not dealt with into the new year. This new year, 2026, is a whole different energy, but I'll talk about that, of course, when I do my yearly predictions and so on. However, what needs to be resolved, do it now. It's really important, no matter how hard it is and so on. You know what I mean? Book those appointments you need to resolve and deal with. Speak from your heart. Mercury retrograde we're in, which of course gives you that opportunity to reset things. Maybe you want to have that talk with someone. You can resolve things right now if you're not running from situations. So it's really important to have that heart-to-heart talk. This isn't working. Where are we at? Why don't we, like, refix this and that? Why don't we retweak this? Like, whatever it is, really pay attention, because Uranus is entering Taurus. So you can expect messages that you've been waiting forever to hear about. Maybe it's a job opportunity. Jeni, I applied for that job and I haven't heard anything. Like, did they forget about me? Maybe all of a sudden you're going to get that phone call. You know what? We're looking for someone. This opportunity just opened. Expect, I've been waiting forever to hear from this person. I'm giving up. Maybe this person isn't interested. Like, all of these things. This is when unexpected messages can be coming in for you, but it really depends on what you want. What have you been manifesting? Like, I manifest all the time, and there's something I manifested. I had it on my vision board. I got it all, believe me. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I changed my mind. So don't worry about when things like that happen, because this is how you learn more about you. This is how you learn more about, is that really the path I want to walk on, and all of these things. You can change things at any given time when you're ready. So this is going to happen now for you, with a lot of truth coming out in relationships, especially. Relationships can be with anybody, friends, your partners, your neighbors, business contacts, literally anybody. So you're going to see more truth coming out with it, and endings. So this is when these unexpected, shocking outcomes can happen. Sorry, we're done. I'm done with you. Sorry, we're closing our company. What? Or it can open up, as I mentioned, we have this new job opening up for you. That's what I wanted. You have to trust this. So it can bring in a lot of abundance and prosperity for you during this time. You're also going to see more synchronicity, more synchronicitized events, because there's a lot of karmic endings, karmic rewards during this time, big opportunities that can really change your life. Like, this is a really super duper high time, you know. But Jeni, you say that, yes, because when we work with the energies, it works with us. So really pay attention to not rush in and sign the bottom line on this and this and this and this and that. That's, when I backed out and I'm like, wow, that was a really big opportunity. Thank you so much. However, that's just not what I want. I'm moving in a whole different direction right now with my life. That's not the direction I want to go. But thank you. I always thank people whenever there's opportunities given to me, no matter how big or how small it is. It's like, thank you so much for thinking of me. Thank you so much for all of these things. Of course I do. I'm always grateful for opportunities, no matter what. It doesn't mean you have to take it. So be careful with what you're getting involved with. Like, seriously, be very careful. If you're like, yeah, I've been wanting that for a while. And then at the very end, you're like, oh my gosh, I planned for this and this and this and that, but that's not what I want anymore. It happens all the time, especially now during this cycle. So November 1st to the 11th, we are in a major portal, which every day gives you that opportunity to manifest. You're going to find that your intuition is going to be stronger. Psychic insights are going to be stronger. You're going to be like, wow, like you're going to see miracles like that are unfolding. Spirit, I need a sign. Like, oh, I'm just feeling lost. All of a sudden, boom, that phone call comes in. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. As I just mentioned. However, when things have been stopped, just like that, it's just the universe redirecting you in a different way, a different path. So this is when you're going to want to be very careful with what intentions you set. We can revamp our vision board at any given time, any day, of course, but karmic relationships are ending, especially during this time. So people from your past come back, Mercury retrograde, you could be ending that situation. No, thanks. I don't want to entertain that anymore. New doors open up. All kinds of things are going to happen for you. Make sure you guys let me know what's going on. Like the video and please share it and so on, right? Because it does, expand the energy in many different ways, of course, too. So you're going to be seeing a lot of like illusions that you had coming to fruition. It's like, oh my gosh, you're seeing the truth. It's so important to pay attention to reality and the truth of the situation. Confront situations head on or end it. Just end it. You know what I mean? This is the time to resolve situations. So it just really depends on your circumstances, where you're at, what you really want, and so on. Because your worth, you're going to be seeing, you know what, I've had enough. Bad enough. I'm done. I'm done. We all have limitations, of course. We all have that. Yeah, I've lessons learned, all of these things. If you've learned lessons, great. You can really move forward with it. If you haven't and you're still trying to get away with just certain things, boom, it's going to crash down on you big time. So this is, of course, the 8th and the 9th of November we are moving into as well. The Uranus enters Taurus. It brings sudden changes to situations even more. Oh, really? Yes. Changes can be good, of course. Changes can be not so good, but it depends what you've been resolving. It depends on what you've been dealing with. If you haven't been dealing with things, if you've been running from things, it follows you. It follows you. I'm going to go to the other side of the world and on my vacation. Okay. But what you've been dealing with is still there. It's not going to end. It's not going to resolve itself until you resolve that stuff. So unexpected Expect the unexpected energies, incoming surprises too. All of that boom, boom, boom can happen during that time. So things very well could shake up really out of your comfort zone during the 8th and the 9th. I'm just saying, happy birthday to my mom who just passed away October 5th. Her birthday is November 8th. There's misunderstandings. So it's very careful what you're signing during this time. Any new documents you're signing, be very careful. If you are not sure what you're signing, please have somebody go over it with you, a lawyer or whoever it is, somebody to help explain that. Mercury retrograde is not the time to sign new documents and contracts. However, sometimes we do have to sign new contracts and documents during this time. But I'm just saying, be extra careful, know exactly what you're getting yourself involved to. Like I almost signed a contract last week with something which would have been very life changing for me. And then I'm like, okay, spirit, show me signs. Boom. It was within the first 5 minutes after I arrived. I was on a road trip and I went there and I'm like, wow, it was within the first 5 minutes of the conversation. Let's just say, and I'm like, thank you, spirit. Thank you. Just instantaneously, no thank you, but I made the best out of the situation as well and was very grateful that this was shown to me in many, many different ways. So be open to what you're being shown, like don't just come to immediately conclusion with certain situations. Hear somebody out what they have to say, let them have their say, them have their talk. You know what I mean? Be open to it, but you know, then take your time to really, what, I just need some time to really give this some thought, what I want to say to that person or how to handle this situation, because that's when officially Mercury retrograde starts on the 9th and 10th. We've been in the pre-shadow for a while. So Mercury retrograde goes to the end of the month, you know. So it's going to be a lot of closures and endings in relationships, no matter who it's with, like relationships can be with family, friends, or partner, business partners, anybody, anything connected with relationships at all. So this is when you're going to really want to focus more on your health and well-being during this time too. It's like, what is this worth my mental and emotional well-being? Is it really worth it? So you're going to really want to be speaking your truth and so on and so on. The last thing you want to do is have a conversation with someone when you're really angry and upset. It's so easy to say things that we regret, of course. Of course. So it's like, what? Let me back off. Let me just have some space and time to really regroup myself, ground myself, and then I will deal with this situation. But you want to be able to resolve situations before the end of the year, as I just said, to wrap things up, right? So you might also be seeing more synchronicity coming in for you. If you've been resolving things and healing things and all of these, you're going to see, wow, I'm actually seeing why and understanding more of how and why this is coming through right now. So things very well could be coming together and falling together. Like even when I made up my mind and I'm like, no, this isn't going to work for me. I came home and I didn't really have lots of sleep actually because I was concerned about it. Something was off, right? So I had to disassemble something that I had set up in my house. And it was just so amazing because once I assembled something that I had set up, it was almost like the energy just went so calm and peaceful. And I'm like, okay, maybe like my mom came in and calmed me down from that. It was like instant, like just instant. So pay attention to that because that super full moon, if you watched my video, that was super, super, super powerful because it's a super full moon. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things happen. I started talking about weather disruptions, like, like just certain things got really shooken up and shook up. Like, look at that plane crash just with UPS. Like, oh my God, like how sad. So things can get shooken up. Like, this is why, like, water represents emotions, like my background here. I have water, and it looks pretty rough and scary, if we look at it. But if you look at it, you're like, wow, it looks really beautiful how things are flowing. It shows you where your emotions are. New chapters are opening up for you. Chapters are closing. Endings are closing. Endings are happening. So you're going to find you're going to be a little bit more flexible this week, spontaneous. Some of you, of course, have certain things planned. Boom, boom, boom. All of these things, great. But then you're going to be like, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to like go more with the flow. I'm going to, why don't we do this? Yeah, let's just go out of town for the day and go up to the mountains or go for the hike or, go by the lake or so on and so on. And you're going to see, how I've been talking about for quite some time. For those of you who watch my videos, like I'm also an animal communicator. And I've been talking about how the animals are going to be fighting back and coming back. And I've warned people about wildlife and such like that. And I just really felt this bear really like literally like bear energy, like in not a really good way, sneaking up on somebody. And sure enough, it happened. Where I'm at, there's wildlife that comes into the city and which actually knocks down our power. When the lights go off and the power goes down, I'm like, what's just happened? And then I found out that's wildlife, like on the power lines. And I'm like, what? But while where I'm at, anyways, there's wildlife all over the place. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of bear attacks. And people have gotten seriously, seriously, seriously injured, and some people have passed away. There's another one just recently, not too far away from me, you know, in a little community. So please just be very careful. Please just use extra caution. Our animals are fighting back. They've just had enough of humanity, of shaking up Mother Nature, and especially, all of this energy with, so-called leaders, what they're doing to nature and a lot of different energies and hunting. And it's just really come down, boom, 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 boom. My heart goes out to the animal kingdom as always, for those of you who know me, and and of course, my heart goes out to the families that have lost people from, when wildlife has hurt, people, and that. Just please use extra caution. You've got to respect Mother Nature. You've got to respect the animal kingdom in order for the animal kingdom and Mother Nature to respect us back. Very important. How we treat Mother Nature, it comes back with the wrath of God. Many, 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 many reasons. So as we move into November 10th and 11th, we have like Remembrance Day, Veterans Day. It's a time to really reflect back and be very grateful for our veterans who have done everything to, help our countries and so on and so on. They've lost their lives. I have a very big clientele with the military, who I talk with for quite some time. So we all have different jobs and careers for many, many different reasons of sorts. So this Mercury retrograde energy will shake a little things up. So there very well could be a lot of emotions, even more the 10th and the 11th, Remembrance Day, remembering back upon our family members or friends or veterans that have lost their lives, to help with our country and so on. Take some time out, especially on the 11th. It is a power day too, the 11th, 11/11, 11/11, 9/11, right? Thank you for our service to our veterans. So you're going to be doing a lot of reflecting even more on everything, not just your, like the veterans and everything, but on absolutely everything. You're going to be doing a lot of reflecting even more on family situations. Could be family memories that are coming up for our family, that have passed on, or, family situations where we've had falling outs on. Some of you are done, some of you are moving on, some of you might be like, I just want to heal that situation. Go on your own comfort zone, of course. We all have different reasons. why we work through things in our way. So this is a time when it's really important to try to trust the process now where it's leading you towards. You'll see that with synchronicity. So synchronicity is because we've been doing certain work to end situations, so new doors can open. New doors can literally open. You might get a shocking message during the 10th and 11th as well. Like, wow, what? All of that. You very well could get that shocking message. It's this week, like the first to the 11th. Expect the unexpected with these shocking messages. Oh my God, my person messaged me. He wants to take me out for dinner. She wants to take me out for coffee, like whatever it is, like anything and anything, right? So on the 12th and the 12th and the 13th, Jupiter goes retrograde. So you're going to be resolving situations even more during this time. Really speak from your heart because you're going to be seeing more of your purpose, even more, your destiny, the road you're heading towards, and your real purpose why you're here. So you very well could be feeling, wow, I'm more compassionate to myself and my journey or to others and so on. I'm still healing through situations. I'm really feeling conflicted here with my career, let's say. A lot of you are making certain career changes this year too. This is a very, spiritual year, a year of completions and endings. I'm done my career path. I'm now drawn to go on this area, that path, and so on and so on. Follow your heart, listen to your heart. Really important. We all have many reasons why we're born. We all have many reasons why things are happening and so on. That's why whenever I do a reading, I give you very, very, very detailed information, past life energy, past life Akashic records reading, animal communication combined, everything combined into one. So really pay attention to where your heart's getting pulled towards you and so on and so on. The 14th also, by the way, lessons learned, moving on and away. You're like, you know what? I finally learned my lesson. No matter what it is, I'm done. Done. Year of completions, universal 9 year, you're done. You're closing that door. You're closing that book, that chapter. You're moving on. You're evaluating everything during this time. Everything. Moving. Like I just literally hear moving. Some of you very well could be moving away, like moving away. Maybe you're moving to like a long distance move. You're going to be like, yeah, we're done, just wrapping up the house, we're moving, all of that thing, or let's just take that move and move on. So you could feel a lot lighter, actually. You know how I mentioned that when I had made my decision and then I ensembled something that I had here set up, ready to go. I felt so much lighter and more at peace because I'm like, that's not going to work for me. And I knew that for a while, but it's just like, you know, show me signs, spirit, like just different things like that. It was interesting because for some of those who knew, like when my mom was alive, this was another time when we actually thought she was going to pass. So I had went and saw her and everything like that. And so then anyways, I had a dream. She came into my dream. I was still being alive, and she showed me where I was moving to, like the exact spot with the view. This was before I moved into my place. It's exactly where I moved to. And then she showed me something else, which I'm not going to talk about until that actually happens. And it was connected with the other direction that I thought I was going to be walking towards, which I said, this isn't going to work for me. I just ended it and ensembled this. And I'm like, oh my God, she's right. She's right. So far, like the other thing might very well happen in February, but we're not even going to talk about that until I actually have it in my hands to show you. But anyways, but you know what I'm saying? Really pay attention to your dreams as well, because you're getting a lot of messages incoming in your dreams. Write it down, as much information as possible. Write it down. So you're going to see a lot more coming out. So anyways, let me just pull a couple of cards here. just to see collectively what messages are coming through here. I don't use cards when I'm with a client because I'm clairvoyant, but YouTube, yeah, right. Unless you've been to my free readings on YouTube here. Okay, so because we have people from our past coming back, with unexpected, shocking situations as well. That could happen with anything that you're dealing with. We're going to have a little talk with the romance angels. Maybe some of you are getting married or engaged, right? Like, romancing angels. So maybe some of you all of a sudden are going to get those news that you're pregnant. Oh my God, we're pregnant. Like anything shocking news can come in that you're not expecting. It can be either or, right? Like, so pay attention when it happens. And if it's a news that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that, that very well could be your ending. You know how I said new beginnings and endings. Endings. I just lost my job. The universe is redirecting you. You have to try to trust that no matter how hard that could be, so on and so on. So what's the message from the romance department from the 8th and the 14th? Message. The 8th to the 14th. It's a message. Make sure you guys clear your cards as well before using them so that it doesn't take over and bring in your energy. You want to heal this. Okay, so so let's just concentrate. I'm getting all kinds of messages coming in. 8 to the 14th. 8 to the 14th. The crow, the raven. Somebody pay attention to the message from the crow or the raven, by the way. Attraction card fell down. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Law of attraction. You attract who you are. Who you are. So when you're wanting to attract, let's say, the right person, make sure you write down as many qualities as you want in your person, very detailed, very specific what you want. We can attract all kinds of things to us. So if I attracted, let's say, something that I'm like, how did that happen? The first thing that I would be doing is I would be looking at myself. Okay, so you've attracted this to you. Why was that? Sometimes things just happen, yes, right? Of course, that are like shocking, unexpected. Pay attention. But if it's something that I'm like, what is this showing me? Am I out of alignment? Or where's my thoughts? How did I attract this or that? Pay attention. Like I get new opportunities all the time. I'm always open to new opportunities that are really good for me. And then we can get that. But then you have to really give it some thought. What direction do I want to go towards with everything, especially right now, right? Colette Baron Reed, the map, enchanted map. Which direction you guys going in? 8th to the 14th of November. Oh my God, like we're literally 6 weeks away from the new year. Like, how crazy is that? 8th to the 14th. 8th to the 14th. What's coming up here? Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Who's the leader? Who is the leader? You are your own leader. You make your own decisions. We can speak with lots of different people on making decisions, needing that clarity or whatever it is. However, it comes down to you. Like whenever I do a reading, I'll give you all of my insights into what I'm seeing for you with a lot of details. However, it comes down to you, what decisions you make. So you are the leader that creates your own destiny and your own path. Start writing down things that you want to change. Start writing down the direction, what you'd like to do. I'd love to do this and this and this. Just write it down. Write it down. Be very specific what you want. Just write it down. Don't worry as much how and when it's going to come together. You can always book a reading with me, but you know what I'm saying? Just write it down. I will write down certain things on my vision board, what I want or whatever. I don't look at how and when it's coming because I really don't know. Sometimes I will get those messages when it's coming and so on. And I hear different dates and numbers, and it happens. Exactly, things happen. When I'm hearing a date, it boom. Even my mom, when she passed away, I circled October 5th, like 6 weeks before, or somewhere around there, and she passed on the 5th of October. Like I hear different dates. I've even got 2 dates circled in February already, and so on. So let's have a little chat with the heart, the psychic tarot of the heart with John Holland. Color green, by the way, is for the heart chakra. It's for healing as well. So pay attention to what colors you're drawn to. And I'm doing classes. I'm working on classes, by the way, you guys. So they should start coming out in 2026. All different kinds of classes, not just one. Help you. October 8th to the 14th. Rest and reconsider. Like, oh my gosh, what is this Mercury retrograde? A time to reset, reevaluate. Retrogrades move backwards, a time to sit back and not rush anything. Reconsider, take that time to rest because some of you might be feeling really tired because of that super full moon. It throws our sleep off. You know, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh, really? I'm still awake. I might as well just get out of bed and turn my coffee on. Probably slept for about an hour, but you know what I mean? So when there's a lot of energies going on, our sleep can be really light, right? So pay attention to your body and get some rest. Like whenever you're feeling the rest, listen to your body. The Mercury retrograde is all about your health. So for goodness sakes, what health procedures you need done or dealt with, do it during that. Do it during now is the time, right? Get it resolved, get it dealt with and out of the way, so you won't regret it. If you ignore all of these things, you will regret it. So now, how many of you are signed in to hit that like button to subscribe to my channel? Follow me on Instagram. Let me know what's going on with you guys. Make some comments. I really like to see where you guys are at. And if you do want to book private readings, so workwithjeni.com. Until next time. Oh, I also have a group on Facebook, Higher Vibes with Jeni G. Cousins. So I put content in there that I don't put up on social media and so on. So join me in my group. I check Facebook. I have a couple of different accounts and so on, a public page and all of these kinds of things going on. But join my group, and I check Facebook every couple of days or so on anyways. So, and I'll invite you in. We're all one collective family.